Selamat siang semuanya, selamat datang di Ista Podcast. Saat ini kami sedang bersama dengan salah satu representatif dari US University, yaitu dari Colorado State University. Nama saya Marinda, saya adalah Student Counselor di Ista. Di sini hari ini kita selain kedatangan representative dari Colorado State, kita juga ada Mr. Carl here, and then here Mr. Stan Verhals. Is that correct?
You nailed it. You got it.
Okay, then would you mind to introduce yourself first to our listeners or viewers here?
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks so much for having me. I'm Steen Verholst. I'm the director of the International Enrollment Center at Colorado State University. And so we have kind of this great team, and our job is to help students from what we call inquiry to orientation. So you first learn about us all the way until you arrive on our campus. We handle the admissions, the scholarships, the immigration, everything. And they pick you up at the airport and get you there safely. So it's a pretty cool unit and unique, I think, at a big research university.
Yeah, berarti buat para student yang tertarik ke Colorado State, Mr. Stan here is the right person. It's your first connection to the Colorado State University. Okay. Would you continue, Mr. Carl?
Sure, of course. So, Steen, tell us about what are some of the programs at Colorado State that you feel, I mean, you've been in Indonesia for hours maybe, but you've learned a lot. I know you've been around. You went to the Education USA Fair and other schools you're visiting now. What are some of the things that you picked up here that will be a good match for Colorado State for the Indonesian student?
Yeah, well, I think it's exciting. So CSU is large research university. We've got 30,000 students across 8 different colleges, but certainly picking up and had some really cool and technical conversations with students around natural resource management, around tourism management, around hospitality, water. And so one of the things that you'll see as you learn more about Colorado State University is everything is literally green. Our branding is green, everything. And so a ton of work with natural resources and sustainability is really kind of the showcase of that. And we initially started as a college around agriculture and engineering. And so that's the backbone and the foundation of what we do. We're over 150 years old now. And so it's been this really cool evolution now to be a comprehensive university, but the strengths continue to be around, protecting people and our planet.
Great. Well, what do you feel that could be a good resource for Indonesian students that a niche program that you feel that only Colorado State has, or Colorado State has the best of?
Yeah, well, I'm finding a lot of synergy, again, around the environment and sustainability. And so we offer one program that really stands out as a good match is what we call an Impact MBA. That program has a sustainability focus, and our College of Business is actually people, profit, planet. And that's a huge thing, understanding, great, you want to have a profitable company, but not at the expense of people or the planet. And so I think that's exciting. In natural resources, again, around water and resource engineering, and then in our College of Engineering, civil and environmental engineering are synonymous. Those are not unique things for us. So that is the department. And so again, you see that balance and that integration of like, great, you can go and build something, but make sure that it's environmentally positive or sustainable. I think that's going to be a compelling piece for Indonesian students to think about. Is great, I've got the practitioner, I understand what this field is all about, but also not at the expense of the resources around us.
Okay, great. A lot of Indonesian students are saying, I need to, to study more. I want to get into the natural resources area or study water or engineering or agriculture, but my English is not what I really want it to be. How can you help these Indonesian students in really being successful in graduating, and improving their English?
Yeah, we offer both a full, clear admission as well as a conditional admission. So we have our own intensive English program. And we actually have elements of that we want to help all students from all around the world, specifically here in Indonesia, with their language acquisition. And so We are willing to work with students and to work with partners to build customized programs that can be before they ever get on a plane, when they arrive in Colorado, to make sure that their English proficiency and they feel really confident getting into really technical discussions. And we've built our English program to be just that, very specific. English for STEM, English for business, English for IT. And so those resources are readily available. And we're really excited. Some of the conversations we've had around partnership development is inclusive of that. Like, great, we want to go and learn that, but what about English? And we'll make sure that we take care of that.
Great. That's important for them. Another thing that they're thinking about that worries them is the GRE. So tell us about your policy with the GRE for some of the departments.
Yeah, it varies. One of the silver linings of the COVID pandemic was when tests became super inaccessible in many ways for students. We realized that learning outcomes weren't that different when requiring or not requiring a GRE test. And so most of our programs now have waived off the GRE or GMAT requirement. And so that's particularly true in our College of Engineering, College of Natural Resources. There are, of course, some exceptions there, but there's always ways, too, that our faculty will entertain that. Great. If you want to take that test and present it, go for it. But it's often not super consequential in whether or not you'd be admitted. And additionally, if any learners are listening and they've got some professional experience, that's another way to get a waiver. One of the programs that stands out is our program in Computer Information Systems, which is a STEM-designated business program. And they really value experience, and they'll waive it off.
So yeah, jadi GRE can be waived.
This is true. Waived or optional in many programs. I mean, not even required. Yeah, a lot of flexibility there.
Okay. Gampang tuh buat yang mau masters, ngambil masters atau PhD di Colorado State, GRE beberapa fakulti bisa di waive atau optional. Jadi kalaupun yang sudah ambil GRE bisa sebagai tambahan untuk di aplikasinya gitu. Tapi it's professionals juga misalkan sesuai sama jalurnya itu juga bisa diterima. Tuh. Oke.
I can hear the screaming and yay!
Yeah. A lot of Indonesian students if mostly PhD one they ask is GRE can be waived or
and they're going to have that experience too. They're probably going to meet that threshold where if the department does require it, they want to meet the learners where they're at. And if you've been teaching or you're coming on LPDP or something like that, you have 6-8 years of experience. Like, come on. The resume and that is going to tell us a lot more than a standardized test. So yeah, that's definitely a conversation for us.
That's more than GRE. Or
exactly.
In Colorado State University.
Exactly. So let's say an Indonesian student, they want to study natural resources on the undergraduate level, graduate level, and PhD level. Are those degrees available for, let's say, that particular program?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So across 7 of our 8 colleges, we go all the way through the PhD program. The only one that doesn't offer a PhD is our College of Business. So they offer through a professional master's level. But yeah, in our College of Natural Resources, undergrad, master's or PhD programs, ranging, from broad-based studies, perhaps, in ecology to very niche specific areas, right, as a PhD student and understanding, okay, great, I want to focus in very specifically on protected area management, and I want to work in national parks. I want to help, create green spaces for this country, etc. And so yeah, it would depend. And we've got a big menu. We've got 64 graduate departments at CSU, and so most of which are going to offer both that master's and PhD. And it's just kind of a matter of, okay, is it landscape architecture? Is it environmental horticulture, right? And we'll kind of help them navigate that and understand maybe what some of those different outcomes are.
Do you have renewable or sustainable engineering something? Because in Indonesia, I think it's growing, the interest into sustainability, and then the people even undergraduate are looking for it. So in Colorado State, offer those programs are renewable sustainability or something along that line of programs.
Yeah, definitely. And so, you'll find environmental engineering programs, which have a huge portfolio in wind, water, and sun. And so, actually, CSU is one of the most sustainable universities in the United States. And so, I think both as learners and practitioners, as a student, we have a huge focus on that. So that's maybe one example right in our College of Engineering, getting into chemical, biological engineering, or environmental engineering, or civil. Our College of Engineering actually in the next year and a half will be opening a new fusion energy. So talk about renewables, right? These are some of the biggest lasers in the world, and we just broke ground on a brand new $150 million research facility. And if we can get that done, we're going to be able to really move the needle around energy. And so yeah, I think it's looking at all of these alternatives, right? And understanding, okay, fossil fuels have their role, but how do we begin to migrate into these other spaces that are green, economies, and pushing kind of the envelope in that regard.
Yes.
Great. So I want to apply as a graduate student.
Right.
What do I have to go through? What are some of the requirements that I need to have to be a successful student and to get in, right?
Yeah, wonderful. Well, kind of your first stop will be you can get directly connected with myself or our team is kind of standing by to help students navigate through this process. And so that's international.collegestate.edu. And that's going to drop you right in. And the very first button you're going to see is like, learn more, apply today, inquire today, etc. And then we've got a team, a really global team that can jump in and help you navigate that process. Now, graduate departments will vary a little bit, of course. So some, as we mentioned already, with standardized testing scores, etc. But one thing that we touched on, which is really cool, is in terms of English proficiency, we accept the TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo across all levels of study. So in terms of access, I think that's exciting to be able to have all of those options for students. And then from there, of course, it's compulsory a minimum of 2 letters of recommendation for all graduate programs.
2 letters.
But it's your option. You can list as many as you want, but once we get to 2, we'll typically move that forward to departmental review.
Right.
And our team will work very closely. So as a graduate student, it's 3 steps. You apply to the institution. That's us. We'll help. We'll make sure everything's there before we ever send it on. Okay. So that's my team. And then we're going to send it on to the department for review. And that's really the technical piece of this. And I think that's what's exciting. We have no programs at CSU where some arbitrary person such as myself is going to make that decision at the graduate level. These are experts that will review your application and make sure that they have a good match for you in terms of their labs or research opportunities. And then that decision is confirmed and edified by our graduate school. And so it's probably, if everything's in on time, and depending on the time of the year, we hope to revert a decision within 2 to 4 weeks. And again, that's transcripts, a reflection of everything you've done across levels of study. At least 2 letters of recommendation. They're certainly going to want to see your CV. If you're in the arts, often there's a portfolio component. And then, of course, English proficiency standardized tests. We also do have some application fee waivers available. So that'd be an opportunity for both undergraduate and graduate students. And so again, ping us and we can find a way to take care of that to kind of accelerate your application. So that's really graduate. Undergraduate's much easier. And that decision is made just by our Office of International Programs. So we admit you and then we introduce you to the university as a first year, second year student. And then I always say, okay, now they get to know you and the faculty become more involved in your learning, certainly as you get into that second year, et cetera. So pretty straightforward. And again, I think really navigable. And if our team isn't doing a good job, please let us know because we've really prided ourselves on kind of building this unique center to be like fast and super supportive. And so somebody should be on the other side of your question right away.
Sure. And definitely we'll follow up with you or our students on the application process. Tell us a little bit about your merit scholarships. Students are always looking for scholarships besides the government scholarships that are available for them. The self-paced student might be looking for scholarships. Tell us your program on that.
Yeah, they're undergraduate students, certainly first-year students. Our scholarships are really robust. And so what I always tell students is the first scholarship is, again, our job. You just need to submit the application for admission. And as part of that process, in our office, we're going to admit you. And within 2 to 3 days, we're also going to give you an award notification. And so that's automatic. And that's largely based on your grades, but also an element of extracurricular engagement. And so those initial awards range from $2,000 to $12,000 per year, which the best award can cover around 35% of your tuition at CSU. Now, if a student is at that higher end, academically, okay, you're achieving at a very high level, one of our counselors is actually going to schedule an interview with those students, and we have scholarships that will pay for half of their tuition. So as a state institution, that's a big investment.
Right.
But we've got both our internal resources as well as some generous donors, and we call that program the Impact Scholars. And last year we selected 15 of those students to come to Colorado State and study at half the cost of tuition. So undergrads, it's definitely available. It's automatic. It's really driven by our office. At the graduate level, it's kind of a mix of different resources. Again, the Office of International Programs has some resources. Those scholarships are typically $5,000-$6,000. But then we try to team up even with our departments. So again, depending on departmental resources, they may have some scholarships available. But what's more common is assistantships at the graduate level. And certainly all of our PhD students are supported by assistantships. So if you're a high-achieving PhD student, we want to jump in and be able to support that. And for master's students, some assistantships are available, but again, that might be us packaging some scholarships. And so, again, we'll work through that all and try to understand. I know that's an important number, like those I-20 numbers, right?
Yeah.
Funds from school.
And
we're rooting for you.
Oke, iya. Jadi kalau untuk S1 automatically undergraduate dapat scholarship untuk 2.000 sampai 12.000 per tahun. 2,000 until 12.
2,000 till 12,000 is automatic. We're going to do that as part of the process.
Oke. And masters dan PhD juga ada scholarshipnya. Nanti tapi tergantung dari fakultasnya seperti apa gitu. Tapi untuk undergraduate bagi adik-adik yang emang tertarik tadi environment, renewable, sustainability, or yang ada di atau nanti bisa dicek tadi di internationals.colostate.edu. Program-programnya seperti apa, nanti bisa tahu langsung dicek. Oh, okay.
Great. Well, as we wrap up, and again, thank you so much for your time, but one last question. What's the weather like in Colorado? You know, Indonesians are used to heat. Give us a little bit of a hint of what they're going to be facing, particularly in the winter time or in the fall, even the summertime. Give us a little taste.
All right.
On that.
Yeah. I am certain you will get to see snow. All right, so that's we'll be honest about that, right? And so Colorado's really kind of that quintessential American weather. It is 4 seasons, and they are literally all about 3 months. So you're going to get an experience around like, okay, January to March is going to be cold, and then we emerge and it's spring, and then we have quite warm summers, which will be maybe as hot as here, but not humid. But not humid. So we're in the mountains, right? So big mountains, yeah. So we're at a very high altitude. Our campus sits at let's see, quick math. We're probably about 1,800 meters above sea level at the base of the Rocky Mountains. And so it's dry heat for sure. And then we shift from there into the fall season. And so right now the weather's like beautiful. Everything's changing colors, etc. But we are bracing for snow. Sure. It's in the forecast as we get into November, December, etc. Yeah.
It's really freezing if like the snow season is how many degrees?
It'll be negative. Yeah, it'll be negative degrees. Yeah. And I'm always so bad at Celsius conversions. I have it in the brochure. We can look it up and we can share it out, kind of our typical range.
Let's just say very cold.
Yeah.
Say very cold.
Yeah, but it's it's really beautiful to see the changing of the seasons. And so I'll definitely share some pictures with you all.
Right.
We've got this like historic oval of where our university started in 1870. And then we do pictures by the seasons. So you can do the 4 pictures of the same shot, right?
Right.
See
Different
this,
seasons.
that cool evolution. Yeah.
That's
so
great.
It's fun
Great.
to watch.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Steen, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a long trip, and you still got more miles to go in different places, different countries. Steen, being the head of the International Enrollment Center, travels all over the world, and he's really excited about Indonesia. So I think it's an opportunity for those who want to learn more about Colorado State. Definitely contact us, and we'll contact you with Steen as well, and we'll go from there. So, Marina, I'll let you close for us.
Oke, jadi kita sudah dengar tadi gimana Colorado State University untuk bagi teman-teman yang emang mau cari undergrad atau graduates, master, PhD, bisa langsung cek ke websitenya, terus dilihat-lihat. Nanti kalau membutuhkan informasi lebih bisa menghubungi kami di ISTEP, atau mau nanti kontak langsung dengan Mr. Steen here, nanti kita akan coba untuk connect. Thank you, terima kasih sekali lagi. Selamat siang dan sampai bertemu lagi di ISTEP podcast lainnya. Thank you, Mr. Stan, Mr. Cole.
Very much.
See you.
Thank you.
I hope we'll see you again.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.